what you've been talking about is this Ray Kurzweil, the singularity, and how these people who think that they can do something with the computer, eventually the computer has its limits and starts moving downwards. Is there an exact parallel between those two different groups, the human and the computer?
There's not an exact parallel. Because humans are strange and unpredictable and ambiguous, and computers are not. You know, they're just not. I mean, you can have a bizarrely emergent, surprising equations, but that's the yield of their output, not them. You know, people are quirky. You know,
but people are talking about evolutionary algorithms that can be put inside of computers.
Yeah, but they're not going to get what you're thinking. You know, they're going to get, just as we can craft algorithms that will extract money from the stock market faster and better than humans, you know, until we figure out a way to stop them. They can. But humans, I would argue, you know, without getting into religion, humans are special. Humans are special. We really are. And we can't understand ourselves. And the more we try, we can't even figure out with any certainty what's in a single square centimeter of soil. That's more complex than we have the ability to understand right now. All of the interrelations between all of that. If we don't know that, how are we going to know what's in a human society, much less a human brain? We are so far away from that. You know, when 10 years ago, I talked to Philip Rosedale, who created Second Life, one of these online simulations, and he said, within 10 years, I promise you, Second Life will be indistinguishable from reality. That's where they are. That's where they're at. But I mean, I find it more interesting to think, why do they want that?
Well, I was going to ask you exactly that question. What you're describing a thing which is science is science horror,
yeah,
and yet you're describing people who yearn for the science horror.
And are nice people.
And
go to Burning Man, yeah.
And so what is the reason for the wish for the eclipse of the human, do you think?
Self-loathing. You know, it really is.
Species self-loathing?
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. I mean, this is why I'm really interested in the zombie movies and zombie TV. You know, because on the one hand, it's wish fulfillment, right? We want that to happen because the world's so complex. Zombie world, no phones, no Twitter, no internet, no email. Just have a shotgun, slow-moving zombies, live with your family on a hill, shoot them. But what the shows are really about is characters trying to figure out a way to distinguish between themselves and the zombies. What makes me better than a zombie? They kill to eat, I kill to eat. And as long as we really can't answer that question, as long as we think that's even a valid question, we don't understand what makes human beings special. And we may as well be overtaken by our computers.
Maybe it's a loss of the sense of the sacred.
Yeah, and the fact that the sacred is human. You know, and it's hard to see ourselves as sacred when we've destroyed the planet, when we're doing all this horrible stuff to each other. And, you know, in the wake of the 20th century, it's really hard to be pro-human because you see what humans are capable of. But I would argue that these are human beings stuck in systems. You know, that the reason why this anti-human, let's accelerate everything to our business plan, singularity-focused cyber philosophy is so popular is because when you talk that way, you get more money. You get more talk. You know, what is Google going to want? Does Google want a speaker and an advisor who's going to say, well, you know, there's actually limits to what technology can do, and maybe we want to think about reifying the human? Or are they going to say, no, we're going to go cyborg, full on, drone power, let's go? Of course, you know, so... You know, I still think, I mean, and the culprit here, this is what my next book's going to be about, the culprit here, really, the ultimate clock, the thing that we set in motion around 1300 is debt-based currency.
Wait, let me stop you before you go off on what could be a truly exotic tangent, because I want to, I want to call,
That should be the title of my next book, Exotic Tangent.